Hey y'all, Snarky J Cosplay here, and in this video, I want to talk about one of the most popular characters in Star Wars. Boba Fett has thousands of dedicated so-called Fett fanatics literally all over the world, from any age and any walk of life. His fans have spent thousands on their own armor to portray the bounty hunter. They've got collections. There was even a Corvette custom wrapped to look like Boba Fett years ago. They get tats half the size of Texas of the helmet, and they build basically entire shrines dedicated to him. But why? In the entire original trilogy, Boba Fett's only on screen for a little over 6 minutes. He's got 4 lines, and one of them is a Wilhelm scream as he's accidentally knocked into the Sarlacc pit by a blinded Han Solo. So if he really didn't do all that much on screen, didn't say much, and met a really unceremonious ending in a pit, why is it that he's on every t-shirt? Why is he so idolized? And why were all these nerds, including myself, so upset about his portrayal in the Book of Boba Fett? I knew my own answers for this, but I kind of wanted to delve a little bit deeper. So I took it upon myself and spoke to over 40 different Fett fanatics, from Boba Fett costumers in the 501st to comic book collectors. I wanted to know from everybody, why is Boba Fett such a big deal? These are the top 5 reasons why Boba Fett is as beloved as he is. Reason number 1, he was mysterious. One of my friends put it best. In the Star Wars universe, Boba Fett was an image of quiet competency and strength. He was an enigma. He walked in, didn't say much, but he stood there and commanded attention. His stoic demeanor, hidden behind a T-shaped visor, left you wondering, what is this guy about? The mystery behind the character was just as enthralling as anything he could have done on screen. It's the what if about him, the ability to let your imagination run wild. Where all these other characters are so well established and their stories are so well told, Boba Fett, back in the original trilogy, didn't have any of that. So he was whatever the fans really wanted to make of him, and that element of mystery is what made him an enigma and something to be idolized for years to come. This element of unseen badassery leads me to the second reason, his reputation. Boba Fett was called the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy, though we really didn't know why. But based on the way he carried himself with that menacing intensity, we could only imagine what he'd done before we catch up to him in the original trilogy. Additionally, he's one of the only characters in Empire Strikes Back to accomplish his goal. Maybe he had some help from the less than friendly Lando Calrissian, but he did capture and deliver Han Solo as promised. Not only that, but we see Vader specifically warns him,
no disintegration.
If Darth Vader has to warn you not to disintegrate somebody, you're probably a bamf. On another note, he's the only character that we see on screen sass Darth Vader. He questions him when they come up with the plan of putting Han Solo in carbon freeze.
What if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me.
And Vader doesn't threaten to kill him, he gives him an answer. That alone shows how much Vader respected him as a hunter, and also maybe as a peer. Reason number 3, his rich history in the now dead extended universe. One of the greatest Boba Fett comics of all time, cited by 4 separate Fett fans, including myself, is Twin Engines of Destruction. It's a solo Boba Fett comic following the famous bounty hunter as he hunts down Jodo Kast, who's taken it upon himself to kind of assume his identity and take on jobs. The whole story shows Boba Fett as a cold, cunning, and calculating bounty hunter, hunting down the guy who's been impersonating him, not because of the loss of cash, but because he doesn't like that the guy's sloppy, and his impersonation of him is actually ruining his reputation. The comic shows that he truly is the best at what he does, and it's one of the really big reasons that Fett fans are so dedicated to him. Additionally, in the extended universe, the braids on his shoulder were said to be Wookiee scalps. You know it's probably close to impossible to kill a Wookiee. So the fact that he wears not 1 but 3 scalps on his shoulders probably says that he knows how to fight. Maybe one of the biggest reasons why Boba Fett is one of the biggest badasses in the galaxy is that he actually faced Darth Vader, and I can't say he won, but he held his own and got away. In Star Wars Tales number 11, he gets into it with Darth Vader himself, and surprises him by pulling out a lightsaber and actually kind of facing off with him saber for a few minutes. While he does kind of have to hightail it and get out of there because he's really no match for Darth Vader, the fact that he even survived long enough to get away is pretty impressive. Reason number 4, he is morally gray in a galaxy of black and white. The basis of Star Wars is all Jedi versus Sith. It's a classic battle of good versus evil. A lot of folks, including myself, find it really hard to relate to things that are so black and white. I've never found myself able to relate to the Jedi or the Jedi Order, and I also really don't relate to the Sith or the Empire. The fact that Boba Fett is neither good nor evil means that he's the line that Star Wars fans who don't want to subscribe to black or white, good or evil, can really identify with. He's just loyal to the highest bidder.
I'm a simple man making his way through the galaxy, like my father before me.
My 5th and final reason, aesthetics. Boba Fett has easily one of the coolest and most intricate designs in the entire Star Wars universe. He's a gunslinger in a 70s space opera. He's got spur sounds when he walks. He wears more gadgets than a Swiss Army knife. And that iconic T-shaped visor that reveals so little about the man beneath just looks mean. Compared to the clean white plastic of a stormtrooper, his battle-damaged armor makes you wonder, what the hell has this guy been through? Boba Fett stands alone, and I think that aesthetic is what sold so many toys, posters, and lunchboxes from the moment we laid eyes on him. All in all, I've come to realize that Boba Fett was pretty much more beloved for everything we didn't know about him. Even the prequels kind of dumbed down his legacy. By over-explaining and making him a clone of his father, he lost a lot of the mystique and cool factor that he had before we knew all that about him. Considering how high the hype and the stakes were about Boba Fett, there was no way Disney was ever gonna please true Fett fanatics with anything they put out. I just don't think anybody could have matched the reputation that fanboys, fangirls, and countless comic and fanfiction writers had spent creating for the Fett Man. I've been Snarky J. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on Boba Fett and his legacy in the comments below.